and that is that's also something that the media uh, has not has kind of failed or glossed over, that it's really teams,
Right.
not say the NFL, but uh,
Right.
I mean, basically, he is saying that as a whole, the NFL uh, has does not practice the right um, hiring protocols uh, when looking into hiring um, black coaches, black head coaches, and um, it's it's been something that's been going on. It's something that gets glossed over a lot, and I am very excited to see where this is going to go. But I'm excited that Brian Flores stepped up and put his career on the line. It's very, very hard as a black man in a situation like that to step outside of the box and take a stand. Um, and unfortunately, Tito, uh, we saw what happened when a player did that in Colin
Right.
Kaepernick. And so
Right.
that's the scary part, because you're talking about Colin Kaepernick, who was a Super Bowl quarterback, all right, and essentially got blackballed from playing. I mean, it was clear that he got blackballed, because even if you didn't like him as a starting quarterback, guys, teams started to come up with these excuses on why they didn't want to take him. He would have been a really good backup, which he started as for Alex Smith, and
Right.
um, so I commend Brian Flores for uh, you know stepping up and really taking a charge.
It's interesting. I mean,
Yeah, get, let me get your take on that. That's some of mine. We'll dive into it some more here as we get into this conversation, and we'll get into the claims that he made. But give me your side of what you think about this situation, and how does it make you feel as a black man in the on the business side of the workforce?
I mean, this is nothing new. These are things that we assume have always taken place. Kudos to him for taking that step forward to bring it to light, I guess. But it's not really brought to light. Like, we know this
Right,
stuff goes on, and the problem is we know it goes on. It's been going on for years. What can you prove? It's not about what we assume. It's not about what we already know is true. How can you prove it? And I think
right,
that's where he's going to have his challenge. I don't know if there's anything that points to we did this because of the color of your skin that he can prove. Of course, we know that has something to do with it,
so
but how
okay,
is he supposed to prove it?
so let's talk about the things that he alleges, right? And also too, um, and I mean it's hurtful, and it's also sickening, um, that the stances that he that that the opposing uh, people that he's going against, the stances that they have taken are so hard, that they were not wrong. Like, the NFL immediately came out and said, "We did no wrongdoing. This is he's defaming us. We didn't do anything." John Elway said it's a lie. That's a lie. He straight to, basically said he's lying. Um,
That's to be expected, though.
um, the owner of the Dolphins said he's lying. Like, so
What did you think they were going to do?
right.
You think they were going to? Oh, he got us, caught us red-handed.
Right. Right.
I mean, what do you
Right.
expect?
Right. Um, but it's just crazy. At least the NFL, you could at least say, "Hey, we're going to look into this." If you're the NFL,
But
because
he's not coming after the NFL per se. He's coming at those individual organizations. So I don't know, how much they, need to probe into this.
I
He
think that
doesn't take an
it is
action against
against the
them.
NFL, Tito, because it says, and I'm quoting NBC News right here. It says, former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores stunned the sports world with his racial discrimination lawsuit against the NFL. So I think it is against the NFL. And
Yeah, but that's just the headline they use. I saw where he's going after those individual organizations, the Broncos, the Dolphins,
he is, which
and
he
the, and
is,
the, and the Giants.
which he is. But real fast, Carter has something to say too, real fast.
I
But
was just gonna hop in and say it is. I believe, to best of my knowledge, that it's those three teams and the NFL as a whole, because part of the lawsuit is against the Rooney Rule. That the reason that these interviews were shams was because the teams were simply trying to fill the NFL Rooney Rule to keep their draft picks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
But the NFL, I don't see how the NFL can be liable for the rule they put in place to try to help minority hires. Now, of course, it hasn't. They've used that just to say, all right, let's bring someone in so we can check the box. But I don't see how they can be at fault.
This is a quote from the suit. In certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation, says the suit, which Flores filed against the league, the New York Giants, and other teams. So it's the league, but also those specific teams, like you did, like you are saying.
But again, it goes back to how is he going to prove this? If it's the NFL and the teams, I just don't see how he's going to prove it.
So let's get to some of the things that he is alleging. So the one are the sham interviews, right? As Carter just spoke about. There's a couple times where he's been interviewed, and the next day, the coaches they announced the head coach. So one was the Giants, and then the other was the Denver Broncos. So those are the two of the teams, and the Miami Dolphins. Those are the three teams that he's specifically going at. But those two teams, the the Denver Broncos and the Giants. For the Denver Broncos, he said that John Elway and the execs showed up an hour late and were inebriated. And then the next day, they announced.
Hold on, he didn't say they were inebriated. He said it looked like they've been drinking heavily the night before, and that is kind of a tricky thing to
right.
I don't see how you can just allege that or whatever activity they were doing the night before. Now, John Elway said they were traveling back from another interview, and this was the only time they could interview that candidate, so he was just coming back from that flight, which is why he was late and he was tired. Who knows? Again, how he's supposed to prove
that's going to be something
that these things are racially motivated. And again, we know these things are going on, but unless you have an email, a recording, a la Donald Sterling, there's not going to be anything that is really going to come out of this. Now, is Flores likely going to just get a settlement because they don't want to go through discovery and go through emails and all? Most likely, they'll get him a settlement and then move on.
Let me stop you with that. So, so you throw out the they were an hour late and they seemed like they had a hangover. Carter, what'd you want to add?
I thought I'd add that although it's not going to be the most staggering case in court, there was the text messages from Bill Belichick. He texted Brian Flores on accident, thinking he was texting Brian Dable, congratulating him on the job before Flores even interviewed. So there's that.
So that's
okay. And all the Giants have to say is Bill Belichick doesn't know the inner workings of the Giants. Where he got information, we don't know, but he jumped the gun because we were still going through our process. Then what are you going to do? I just don't see how you prove these things were racial.
Okay, so
and that's why they continue to get away with it.
Right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. and this isn't just in football either. So I just want to put that out there too. But okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing then. The owner of the Dolphins goes to him and says, "I'll give you $100,000 if you tank games. All right, for every game you tank." Now, here's what I also saw too. They say that there is a witness that heard him say that.
Okay, here's the thing. Is that separate from the racism aspect of this? Because I don't see how that's racial either. Or I don't see how you can prove it's racial. Now, if these owners, because Hugh Jackson recently came out as well, saying that he was offered $50,000 based on certain metrics. How young is the team? How many draft picks do you have? So if you're going down that path, you don't have a win now strategy. And who's to say there's anything wrong with that? But how do you prove that's tied?
Well, I don't think
to being
you can't tank games. I mean, obviously,
nobody said tanking. You can have a strategy that's not a win now strategy. That's totally different. No, it's not.
That's not tanking.
No. You go out there to win games, but our long-term strategy is to build our roster, get some young guys in here, get younger, make sure that we get draft picks so that we can get younger and get young talent. So that's not all right, let's trade for Aaron Rodgers because we need to win now. Everybody's strategy, how they approach their franchise is different. Shouldn't be anything wrong with that.
You're correct. But how often does that happen? Were they asking the coach for the New York Giants to tank games?
We don't know.
They were terrible.
We don't know. But that's what I'm saying. I don't see how you go ahead and point to racism with that.
Go ahead, Carter.
I'm going to guess that the racism factor in that is the Dolphins wanted to pay him to tank games because, first of all, they wanted a better quarterback. I mean, that's pretty simple. And yeah, that's a strategy by some teams. But I think that's also in part of to influence the fact that they can imply then that Brian Flores is a bad coach, which would give them a path to fire him, which eventually happened anyways, even though he had two seasons in a row.
So. And then that's the other thing. See, like,
how is that racism though?
Well, here's the thing. It's because it's not. It's and we know this, Tito, but it's not blatant racism, but it's that good old boys, like because we know if he gets fired, Tito, he's probably not going to get another head job.
I understand that. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying how do you prove it?
Right. There's
not going to be a way to prove it.
Right. Well, I mean, only unless there is some real research done, and we'll talk about that when we get back from the break, man. We're off to a great start. 937 The Ticket. What's the buzz? Tito and Buzz.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are.
Every time the back door closes, it squeaks and reminds me of how I used to go out back for a cigarette 2-3 times a day when I was stressed, when I was hungry, when I was bored. But then I think of how the stale taste lingered in my mouth, and I reach into my purse and pop a stick of gum. And the craving is gone.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsuranceNE.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights. Here is your host, Nebraska Basketball's Director of Player Development, Buzzy Carruthers.
I think we got a good game going right now, Tito, between Phoenix and Atlanta. You got that on in the background or what? No? 62-54. Hawks are up. Then after that, you've got Bron. I know you won't be watching that. Look at you. Look at your face, man. The disrespect. It's crazy. Trae Young, 7 for 11. 16 points, man. Mocan. Holla. But we are back. 93.7 The Ticket. What's the Buzz with Tito and Buzz? We are discussing the Brian Flores lawsuit against the NFL and the Denver Broncos, New York Giants, and Miami Dolphins in particular. Before we went to break, we finished on the note of how is he really going to prove it? Because we went through almost each scenario that has been brought up in the media, the big ones at least, with the text message from Bill Belichick, the interview with the Denver Broncos, and the owner from the Dolphins asking him to tank games. And the question was brought up, how is he going to prove this? And I said before we went to break, it's going to have to be researched. And here's the thing, Tito. There has been a deep dive done on a particular team. And for some reason, those findings were never brought to light. But on the contrary, there were findings in there that were brought to light and got a head coach fired. But yet the owner stayed high and dry and nothing happened to it. Now, I will say this too. I will say this, Tito. With that happening, the organization, I guess you could say, cleaned up some of the things going on within the organization as far as the sexual harassment and the racial divide as far as employee ratio. I think they have the highest titled female employer now in the NFL. I don't know what title she is. I think the president's black. I think so. Can you check that, Carter? Can you see if the president for the Washington Commodores? What is it? I said Commodores, Commanders.
Commanders, yeah. I'll get on that.
Yeah, look and see. Because I think they hired a black president. So that investigation sparked a small change within that organization and made Dan Snyder.
Yep, Jason Wright.
Jason Wright. So they hired a black president and female. I can't if you can find that what her title is. So there was a change, but nothing happened to the owner. Nothing. So back to the original question, how is he going to prove these things? I mean, if the only way is through research, you'd have to do a deep dive, and you hire one of those private investigating firms, and they do exactly what they did with the Washington Commanders to these three teams that he pointed out in particular. But with that said, again, we see that the owner of the Washington Redskins, nothing came out, and he's fine. So again, you're still fighting another battle. If they do the research, what's going to be the point? They say, all right, well, you were right. We're just going to pay you, but none of this stuff is coming out.
Well, I guess Roger Goodell said he's trying to protect the women in some way, and they take that as a smack in the face. So, I mean, at some point, they're not going to do anything from a female standpoint, from a minority standpoint, until they start losing money. And that hasn't happened. And I don't foresee it happening.
Right.
So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And they're not going to lose money unless, so say the research, like we've seen, they do their investigation, and they have evidence of foul play, but nothing comes out. They hit the owner with a fine. He pays. They're moving on to the next thing. So at that point, Tito, it has to come down to players, right? It's got to come down to players and a small group of coaches, in particular, probably white coaches, that would have to truly step out on the ledge and take a stand and say, listen, I want more minorities. I want more African Americans on the coaching staff, or else we're not going to play. And white coaches saying, listen, I want to hire more African American coaches on this staff. And that's why, Bruce Arians, they beat us. In the Super Bowl, but I have a lot of respect for him because look at his coaching staff, man. Have you ever looked at Bruce Arians' coaching staff?
Yeah.
It's
Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Neither one of them been considered. Well, Leftwich, I guess, was with Jacksonville, but I'm not sure what happened there.
Right.
Same with Eric Bieniemy.
Right.
Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator. But Andy Reid recently had to come out and tell the world he's actually the one calling plays.
He calls the plays
because nobody would believe it.
Nobody was believing. I
mean, it's ridiculous.
And
when it comes down to it, when you're black, they're looking for ways or looking for reasons not to hire you.
Right.
When you're not black, they're looking for reasons to hire you.
Tito, why?
That's the difference.
Why though? Because the statement has been made. Right. Because the statement has been made, and it's a known fact. NFL 70% black, NBA 75-80% black.
Right.
Why is there such a disparaging number of black coaches? It's just, and again, this isn't just NBA, NFL. It's everywhere. It's every sport. It's all over. And college as well. So I think that's what it's going to take if there really wants to be change. But again, we saw what happened when one player tried to really step out there and protest, and he had people have his back, but when it got hot, a lot of them didn't stay in the kitchen with him.
Right.
So I mean, it's crazy. And again, like the Washington Commanders had a whole litany of things found in that investigation, and nothing came out. Nothing came of it. Maybe this causes them to open it up. Maybe this causes, I don't know, maybe the government goes and says, hey, these things need to be released because he's doing this. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. It is very, very interesting. What's your final take, man? I mean, will there be change with this lawsuit? Will something change, Tito?
I don't see it.
And
The only way something will change is if minorities, including women, specifically white women, come together and are find a way to organize themselves that'll affect the pockets of the NFL. If that doesn't happen, like you said, they were in front of Congress today. I think some people are trying to get Congress to, because NFL, I guess, is like a tax exempt in somehow, some way, to take away their tax exemption,
right?
If they don't start to comply with certain things. I don't see that happening either. So those are the only two things that's going to rock the boat, and I don't see either one of them happening, unfortunately. Brian Flores is going to get him a settlement. He's going to have to go to a college or probably most likely an HBCU, historically black college university, and he can fulfill his love of coaching there. He'll never coach as a head coach in the NFL again.
So
and it's sad that there probably won't be much progress that comes out of this either.
I mean, it's really sad that he probably will never coach in the NFL again. He's a good coach, really good coach. Carter's got something. What do you got?
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna probably agree with Tito there. It's just Brian Flores really put himself on the line here, coming forward with this, because yeah, he probably will never coach in the NFL again. Hopefully he can go coach in college somewhere. But I think he knew going into it that this was gonna, kind of end his coaching career. But I think, he really thought it was gonna be for a bigger cause, so he was willing to go there.
Right. But it's,
I mean, you might get some small changes, like some adjustments to the Rooney Rule.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think we'll see any true progress where moving forward we see, more GMs, more head coaches, more opportunity. I don't.
And
they'll do some things to make it look like they're trying to make some change,
right.
But we'll get the same results.
Right. And you referred to something a second ago. Why don't they want blacks in these positions, Tito?
I said power.
Control
and power.
Exactly. But what's the big thing about that? What is it? Because it's mind-boggling to me that you can have all these guys playing, but yet you can't have a close number.
That goes in any job. They don't want to hire you to begin with, so they damn sure don't want you in a leadership position.
It's tough, man. And a lot of people don't get it, and we're having this conversation, and there's people out there that still won't understand. They still truly don't understand how hard it is in the workforce, in situations like that, how hard it really is to be working in environments like that where you're the minority, and there are so many inner workings, that go unseen and unheard, and that those things lead to the sham interviews, the guy already being hired because of the inner workings of it. I know his son. Well, I coached his father. This guy's the son of the GM. You know what I'm saying? There's so many inner workings like that in these high positions that you sometimes you never even have a chance.
Right. And
then when you're given that chance, it's usually in a very hard situation to get out of. You know what I'm saying? Like a Brian Flores, like I can't remember the coach that was at Arizona a couple years ago that, had a terrible quarterback they drafted in the first round, and the dude was just terrible. And then after that, Tito, you don't get another chance, man. But there's coaches in the league that have gotten other chances, who have failed and gotten other chances, but they're not black. And so, like, one thing that I definitely want people to take away from this conversation is that you have to have an understanding that these things are going on, and it's going to take someone to step up inside of, but besides us, it's going to take that person to step up, and it's that's what's going to have to happen if we truly want change. It can't be us. It can't be. It's going to have to be that other person. So that was deep, but I think we covered everything, man. I'm sure we'll revisit it sometime, but we're gonna head to break, man. But 93.7 The Ticket. What's the buzz? Tito and Buzz.
Breakfast tacos, brisket tacos, pork tacos, chicken tacos. You hungry yet? I can keep going. Pork or chicken, queso nachos, queso mac and cheese, hatch mac burritos. Now you're salivating. Muchachos is Lincoln's premier New Mexico barbecue fusion restaurant, and you can't miss them in their bright blue building. Pair that great food with delicious coffee for breakfast and a variety of local and national beers on tap the rest of the day. Order your food online at yomuchacho.com or visit them in person at Muchachos on South 11th Street between L and K Streets. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Very cold conditions again here for our Thursday, but with the winds calming down and plenty of sunshine, it should feel a bit nicer. We only top out near 20 this afternoon. Northeast winds at around 10. Clear tonight and cold with a low down to around 5. We'll start to bounce back a little bit for our Friday with an afternoon high of 36. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts. More celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Every time the back door closes, it squeaks and reminds me of how I used to go out back for a cigarette 2-3 times a day when I was stressed, when I was hungry, when I was bored. But then I think of how the stale taste lingered in my mouth, and I reach into my purse and pop a stick of gum. And the craving is gone.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights. Here is your host, Nebraska Basketball's Director of Player Development, Buzzy Carruthers.
I like this. Oh my God. That's a bad boy, man. Ice Tray. Ooh. That's cold, man. That's cold. Tito, we got a good one, man. Got a good one. Trae Young, CP3 going at it, man. 66-66, man. Third just started, bro. We are wrapping up the show with the last segment right here. It's been a good one, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll talk about this subject again as we find more out and as the case goes on. But for this last segment, Tito, I wanted to get to another interesting story in the buzz. And that is and we don't talk often enough about the WNBA, but did you see recently that Becky Hammon, who recently just got a head coaching job with the Aces, is getting $1 million a year? Did you see that?
I didn't know the amount. I saw she was getting a job.
Yeah, so she will be earning $1 million a year. It's the biggest contract in the WNBA. But here's the kicker, Tito. All right. And as we all know, WNBA and women's sports in general have always been underpaid. Always. Now, WNBA has been trying to make changes with their bargaining agreements, things of that nature, sponsorships and all of that. But doing a little bit of research, I found out that this is 4 times more than the max players' contracts in the WNBA. So you have, because look at the NBA.
How many years? How many years is this deal for?
It is for come on, Connor, help me out.
I mean, you got to factor that in too. If it's a 8-year deal, then
I can look it up here.
I mean, I don't think it's 8 years, but it's. I don't. I can't. It's not saying. I don't know how many years, but it's $1 million annually. It's $1 million annually. Now, the kicker, like I said, that is
$1 million annually. Okay.
Yeah, $1 million annually. I don't know how many years though. But the kicker is, like I said, she's getting paid 4 times more than the best players in the WNBA. NBA is total opposite. Head coach would never make as much as LeBron James. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it should be the same in the WNBA as well. I mean, the WNBA, I know, a lot of people don't watch it, but then the WNBA got hoopers, bro. And if you take the time out to really watch, they really play basketball, man. Like that's some of the best basketball in the world. So Elizabeth Cambage came out and she tweeted immediately when the story came out. She's like, at WNBA, where a head coach can get paid 4 times the highest paid player's supermax contract, LMAO, and y'all think I'm gonna spend another season upgrading my seat on a flight to get to games out of my own pocket, which is something else I did not know. These girls have to pay for their own plane tickets.
I don't see how that's true.
She said
plane tickets.
She said, y'all think I'm gonna spend another season upgrading my seat on a flight to get to games out of my own pocket?
Well, because she wants to upgrade her seat. Well, if you want to upgrade your seat, then that's on you. It's not like they have to.
They should be flying on the PJs, man. Come on.
Are they generating that type of money? You can't create money that ain't there.
They're generating something. Now, here's another kicker, Tito. The total WNBA salary cap in 2022, Tito, is only 1.3 million. There's no salary cap for coaches and executives.
Looks like Becky Hammond's contract's gonna be 5 years.
5 years. So she got $5 million 5 years. And the total cap
is it really $1 million a year?
It's $1 million a year, bro. Big story. Because it's so high. Breanna Stewart signed for max deal. She's gonna get $228.
Yep.
$200,028. Becky Hammond's getting $1 million to coach. Hey, dude, coaching. I mean, come on now. I get it, but Becky Hammond.
What is your point?
My point is,
you're trying to make
the players. There's no way she'd be getting $1 million, and that should be going to the 10 best or 7 best or 5 best players. The 10 best players in the WNBA should at least be making $1 million a year. Come on now. Come on.
The money is there, but if it's not there, you can't just wish it from the sky. I don't know how much money that league is generating. I don't know how much the TV contracts are. We don't know.
We don't know. But from a standpoint of the owners that own most of the teams also own other professional teams, right? So at some point you've got to look at the books and say, all right, I'm making enough here. I can pay these players here. Come on now, Tito. These are billionaires.
It doesn't work like that.
It does work like that. That's business. Because if you're putting back into your product, bro, that's the only way you're going to grow your product. That's the only way. I mean, the WNBA
doesn't work like that.
Of things they could begin to do a number of things.
You're not going to invest in something you don't get a return on. So, I mean, if just because you keep pouring money into something doesn't mean it's going to increase the value. That's business.
Oh yeah, nobody's saying that. But the NBA has become 10 times more popular than it was 10 years ago. So with that said, the growth is there. The growth is there, man. And I think if you want something to succeed, why would you just keep? I mean, it's the NBA, man. This is the NBA. It's the NBA, and on top of that,
it's the WNBA.
I know, but the 1-1. They're 1-1. But
are they?
I'm saying Find out a way, because these girls go overseas and make a meal for a season. They go overseas and make a meal. So why can't we do it here? Well, what's the formula?
Because the game is more popular over there.
Well, maybe you got to take. Maybe you.
There's a lot of things that are more popular in other countries than they are.
Well, maybe you got to go international, man. But you got to find a way, man. You have to find a way. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that she's getting paid 4 times more than the MVP of the league, man. That's absolutely ridiculous to me. And she wasn't there. Becky Hammon been in men's. She's been on the men's side for the past 5 years. So it wasn't like she's a big draw. She's not bringing in fans. I think that's ridiculous, man. And I think they really should look into making sure that the players who
what city is this?
Popular, the Aces at Atlanta, right? Is that Atlanta Aces?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas Aces.
There could be a component there where they, being in Vegas, I'm sure they found a way to
hey, exactly. You just said it, Tito. Find a way. And on that,
no, I mean, but they probably have a lot more sponsors, a lot of things that could.
I think all of that. I think that
a lot of things could factor in. I didn't know it was Vegas.
I think with the WNBA collecting bargain agreement, I think a lot of those things, Tito, have come into play to where they are earning more money. But hey, it's.
No, but it's also Vegas, so you can actually attract more fans to those games just because, hey, nothing else to do right now. Let's go to this WNBA game. Like, there's so many people out of town. It's like, all right, let's go have a great time and watch the WNBA game, drunk as hell.
It's another topic for another day. I'm glad we got to it though. Tito, thank you for coming today, man. You brought your A game, man. Carter, great having you, man. We gonna be back next week. Carter will be back next week. Tito will be back next week. I'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a couple wins, man, for real. We on the right track. Nebraska, Husker Nation, stay with us, baby. 93.7 The Ticket. What's the buzz? Tito and Buzz. What up, DP?
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's. Here today, here to stay. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
FSR on Instagram. I'm at Chris_Broussard on Twitter. Chris Broussard 68 on the gram. At the bottom of the hour, the segment that is sweeping the nation, Tyshert's Tower of Trivia. You definitely want to keep it locked for that. That'll be a lot of fun. And Rob, I hate to tell you, there's plenty of time left. But Atlanta right now up 9 on Phoenix, midway through the third quarter. Just letting you know.
No, it's not good, but it's only the third quarter. If you told me the fourth quarter, then I'd be in
very
trouble.
early. Very early.
Remember, because I think it's only a 4-point spread, so it's doable. They just got to get back.
Okay.
Phoenix.
Whatever helps you sleep.
I know, Chris. Whatever. Whatever helps you get through the night. Whatever.
Okay. Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, but wait a minute. The Timberwolves are up by 14 now over the Pistons, so I'm very happy.
Okay, good. Good for you. All right. Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan coach, interviewed yesterday on signing day, college signing day, with the Minnesota Vikings. But according to reports, thought he was going to be offered the job and was ready to take it, according to reports. And he wasn't offered the job and then promptly told the University of Michigan that he's staying. He said, I'm staying there here as long as you guys will have me, meaning at Michigan. And he said, this will not be a regular occurrence where every year you have to worry about me. Is he going to the NFL? So on and so forth. He's like, no, I'm yours as long as you'll have me. Rob, I think he means it now.
Yeah, no choice.
But I think he was ready to take that job. Chris. Unless he used them, which I don't think. At one point, I thought he may have used Minnesota or any NFL situation to try to get a bigger contract now from Michigan.
But
Chris, and I'm guessing, have there been reports? I'm guessing he's going to get a bigger contract.
But the only problem is
I think he was going to take. I think he was going to take that Minnesota.
Day.
Right. That's what makes me think you were going to take the Minnesota
because
job.
You hurt
because
yourself.
You don't do that on signing day.
No,
absolutely. You hurt yourself.
You hurt yourself. If I'm a recruit, really, I'm going to Michigan. I don't even know who's going to be the coach. The coach is on a job interview, Chris,
with the Minnesota. In the NFL. Right.
Seriously, if you told me like if it was beforehand and talk and not really interviews, do you know what I mean? Like he really thought he had that cheddar, that gas, that oh my God, the Vikings were just going to fall over and go, Jim Harbaugh. Right. Oh my God, what? We could get him.
Which look, he's got a great record in the NFL. I think it's 44, 19, and 1. Yeah. But still, I mean, the league has changed a lot since you were in it. Right? And you haven't shown me at Michigan that you're some offensive guru.
Right. I mean, I think Chris, over